Alright everyone, welcome to another episode of Tribulation Ready Survival. I'm Michael, and I've just finished making some more video for you about the woods and safety inside the woods and safety around the woods and things you can encounter, things you might encounter, and this is not all inclusive. You have, I'm sure, different plants and animals and terrain in your locations, but you need to adapt it to your situation. My situation is here in central Kansas. We don't have many evergreen trees. We do have a few, but most everything loses its leaves and turns into a giant stick tree. So this is what we've got in the winter. In the spring, everything comes back to life generally and has thorns and thistles and all kinds of stuff growing on it. And later in the video, we'll talk to you about all of the safety stuff that's going to be going on inside the woods. Your area, again, may be different, but safety in the woods is paramount, just as well as safety in the water and anything else. If you're trying to survive, the last thing you want to do is get all jacked up and messed up and hurt and put in a situation where someone else has to take care of you, or you can't go where you got to go to do what you need to do. And so this video is all about keeping you on your up and up, ultimate health while you're out here being safe in the woods so that you can survive. Nothing's worse than being out in the woods and having some issue and everybody has to stop and try to take care of you. And don't get me wrong, I will, but it just makes everything even harder than it already is. And so survival, you want to stay healthy. That means water, shelter, fire or heat, and food. A couple things we need to worry about when we're out in the woods. Safety. In other words, protecting yourself from things like nature. This is an Osage orange tree, also known as hedge. The wood burns very, very hot, but when it grows, the branches come off with huge thorns. This is my finger. This is how big these thorns are. Probably a ½ inch. And they're all over. They're up high, and they're down here, down low. And if you're not able to see, like if you're going through here at night, and you don't have some sort of safety glasses on, or eyeglasses or something, you're in trouble. You're going to shred your clothing and gear and whatever, and it's going to be a bad day for you. There's also something called bristly greenbrier, which I will show to you in a minute, which is as bad as this, if not worse. So I was talking to you about bristly greenbrier. Well, this whole area right here on the ground, it's hard to see from this photo, but I'm going to zoom in here. It's a vine, and it grows, it's right here, I'm not going to touch it. It grows very, very quickly up trees, between trees, on the ground. It'll trip you up. And it's full of millions and millions of thorns. Well, these thorns are designed to break off. To protect itself, they break off in your skin. And I have had these in my hands and my legs, and they take a month or two to get out because they go in so deep and they're so tiny. You don't even realize you have them until you do. They will shred your clothes. All right, so as I was telling you, bristly greenbrier, this is a great example. Right here on the floor of this wooded area, goes all the way across for probably, I don't know, 60 feet or more, all the way from here way down into here. And you'll see that some of it even grows up to eye level. This is a prime example of bristly greenbrier. And down here, as you get closer towards where your feet are going to be, millions of little tiny spines are just going to make your day suck. And it grows. It's green all year round. It's hardy. It's going to make you have a bad day. While this would make good cordage, I wouldn't touch it, even with gloves on. Leave it alone. And you'll also see right there, and also right there, I have signs that there's beavers in the area, and so maybe not want to make my camp here if I'm going to do that. But bristly greenbrier, real bad. Not a good day. Okay, another safety issue. I just ran into this one. I wasn't even thinking about it. This is milk thistle. It has little thorns, kind of like the greenbrier does on it, but if you can tell it's actually got some medicinal properties to it, but it's got these little thorny things on it, and it just grabbed my shirt as I was walking through this path here. Just grabbed my shirt. So I figured I'd shoot it and let you kind of see it. Even on the stalk, if you wanted to cut down this stalk, you got to be real careful with it because it's got thorns on the stalks too. Okay guys, so here's another safety issue. I don't know if you can see this very well. I'm going to come down a little bit. I don't want to touch any of this. This is poison ivy, and it grows here wild also along the floor of this area, and it's just in this one area. The whole floor is covered with it. You wouldn't want to walk through here with shorts or anything like that. It would be a bad day for you, but it grows here close to the water and up in these trees. Another safety issue, poison ivy. Not too far from my home, but I'm near a water source. And if you just kind of look around here, there's a lot of trash everywhere. I'm right near the highway, if you can hear that. And for some reason, unscrupulous people, for whatever reason that don't have trash service, or they're just whatever, dump stuff. For example, back here, right about there, you can see somebody has dumped a tire. Back here, somebody has dumped a whole bunch of plastic jugs and bleach and soap and who knows whatever else. And looks like there's an old pair of shoes in there, but the water that this is connected to isn't something that I would want to drink from necessarily. If I were just filtering it out, because a lot of the pathogens and microorganisms that stick around in this trash may or may not come out through the water filter, and so you're taking your chances there. I would, if I had to drink out of this water, I would boil it. I would filter it first, and then I would boil it. And then I may even treat it with like a liquid or an iodine or something like that. And we can get into that later when we get into water purification. But this is finding water and safety out here. Safety, don't touch that trash. Don't touch it, leave it alone. Even if it looks like something maybe you could use, you don't want to touch somebody else's trash. And right now, I'm following a deer trail. I found some deer droppings down here, and I've been fishing out here before, but I come in from a different direction. I haven't been in to the fishing area from this particular direction. And right now I am on private property, but I have permission to be here. And So I'm gonna make good use of that. If you want to know why I'm out of breath, I had to walk about a mile or so to get where I'm at here. And so, yeah. But I enjoy being out in the woods. Love being out in the woods. Yeah. It's just a great place to be. And so, a juniper bush, a tree. Woo. Let's see, I'm trying to think. My fishing hole is just up here to the left. And I'm trying to think if I can maybe... Okay, so while we're here, looking for water sources. There's also food sources here, and other things that you need to be aware of. For example, if you can see about right there, that's very freshly cut, and that is a beaver. Here in Kansas, we have beavers, and they build dams just like all the other beavers. We also have muskrats that are less friendly. Beavers usually leave you alone. Muskrats, they don't like to be messed with too much. But those beavers are pretty good about sawing down trees. And, okay. Talking about wildlife and safety out here. I know that they exist, and I know they're here, and the beavers, because we have raccoon prints right there. And then we have deer hoof prints over there to your right. They come down here and drink the water. I'm sure they're not out right now, but probably scared of me. But yeah, they're here. There's scat too. And when I come out here, I try not to disturb the wildlife and the surroundings too much. I don't come back here and just make this my home and my play area, so to speak. Because animals live back here, and we have to respect them. And whatever they are, they may be an emergency food source someday. Beavers. Here we are. Beavers! Guess what? Beavers live here. And there's a beaver dam right there. Right there. That's been there for a while, but that's not a log jam, it's beavers. And if you see this right here, this is how they get in and out. Right through here. They scurry up and they scurry down. And they go down to their little beaver dam, not little, their giant beaver dam down here. And live, do what they do. Okay, let's talk about a Widowmaker. If you're not familiar with what a Widowmaker is, it's something that you don't normally see, but probably will fall on you in the middle of the night. And it's a little windy here. You see this branch right here? Blowing pretty good. Has an overhang, and if you look at it right up there, it's blowing way too much. And right about, I'm gonna point with this stick, right about there, it's splitting and cracking. And I'm gonna come to the side of it a little bit. And you don't see it until you look real close. And if you decide to camp under this, here's another one right there, a bigger one. If you decide to camp under this or shelter under this, understand that when the wind blows, it's going to fall. Just think that it's going to fall. Don't build a shelter under a Widowmaker. And you have to look very, very carefully when it comes to Widowmakers, because they call it a Widowmaker for a reason. You just don't see it until you're dead. And that's too late. Okay, so here's another thing you need to worry about, especially when it's cold. I'm not quite there yet. I'm going to try and work on this, but here's the deal. It's very possible, even today, when it's 17 degrees, that you can overdress. So, what you don't want to do is when you are out in the woods and it's cold, you don't want to overexert yourself for the amount of clothing that you're wearing. In other words, you want to do the amount of work that you have to do and not sweat. So, you lose water quicker that way, one. Two, your body's designed to cool itself off and you are in a cold environment. Do you really want to have water all over you and try and cool off when it's cold? No, you don't. You want to stay warm. So you may have to take some clothes off as far as a coat or a couple of shirts. That's why you layer it up. That's not the only reason, but that's one of the reasons why you layer it up. So you can take something off if it starts getting too hot. And I've been climbing up and down these riverbanks here now for about 20 minutes. And I'm starting to get kind of warm. My body's starting to keep itself nice and warm. And I could take this coat off, but I'm going to choose to just take it easy for a little while and let my body cool off. Because I'm not quite sweating yet, but I can feel that I'm just about to. And so, overdressing, even in summer. Overdressing, if it's 100 degrees, you might not want to be wearing pants, but if you have to wear pants, slow down. So, yeah, that's a thing. Always got to keep that right in the middle, that nice balance, or homeostasis, as the scientific community would say. You want to keep it right in the middle. Hey guys, I just wanted to thank you for watching this video today. It was so awesome to be out there in the woods, and I enjoyed it so much. And I hope you've been enjoying the videos that we've been putting out. I want you to know that we're going to continue to put out as many videos as we can with the greatest content possible. And I just thank you, and hopefully this information is pertinent to you. And hopefully you guys, when you venture out into the woods for whatever reason, in whatever season, that you are safe. And so I just hope that this helps you guys out. And we're going to continue to exercise our First Amendment rights here at Tribulation Ready Survival. We find those constitutional rights to be very, very important. And we're going to continue putting out God's Word. And whatever it is He wants us to tell you guys or put out on our channel, we're going to do it. And so with that, please get in touch with us. Keep in contact with us by commenting down below, as well as keeping up with us on our Facebook channel, or our Facebook page, I should say. And so with that said, have a good one, guys.